podcast. We've got a lot to cover today.
We do.
Another array of announcements for Xbox with XO18 over the weekend.
It was. I didn't get a chance to actually sit down and watch it. I had a lot of house chores to do. You know, hard life.
Hi, Mona Fletcher over here.
Yeah, I was up in the gutters cleaning those out and stuff like that. If you guys want to know. Probably don't.
Probably not.
But yeah, so
I went to Yumtown and I went to the beach. If we're talking about our weekends,
fantastic.
that's way more exciting.
It does sound way more exciting.
Gutters.
Cleaning the gutters. I didn't cut my hand this time though. I had gloves.
Okay,
We've got steel
done.
roof and it's sharp.
And it is sharp.
It's very sharp. But yeah, XO18. I had pretty much dedicated my morning to it, and I've been bugging Hannah non-stop about all the super exciting things that have happened. I know, I just want to dive into it. Should we just dive into it?
Should we just, let's lead into it by a very well-timed question of the week, which Jay submitted to us again, which is very exciting. So great timing in your question, Jay. And Jay's question is, what game would you want to have remastered for Xbox One X from Xbox 360?
From Xbox 360? No, I don't know if this game was on Xbox 360.
Okay, well, what game would you like to have remastered for the Xbox One X? Sorry, Jay, if we butcher your question.
Nah, that's because Hannah asked me this, and it actually was really hard for me to answer because so many of my go-to games have already been remastered, like BioShock. All free BioShock games, or the original free got remastered and released like 2 years ago now. I was trying to think of things. I know Final Fantasy, a lot of those games are coming to Xbox, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I finally decided on Elder Scrolls Morrowind, which is a very, very cool game. Elder Scrolls, if you don't know what it is, you've probably heard of other titles like Obsidian and Skyrim. Yeah, I was like, I know Anna will know Skyrim.
I've definitely heard of Elder Scrolls. It's definitely one of those games that people on the internet talk about a lot.
It's one of like the best RPG series that's ever been created. It's owned by Beth Sitter, who also do Fallout, and as you guys very much know, I love Fallout as well. I love my RPG games in general, and Morrowind was probably, I would say, one of the games it started with, and it's because it blew my mind when I was a young kid when Morrowind was actually released. I didn't even own the game, which is why I want it remastered. I went to my friend's house and I played it on their PC, and you got to like walk around in a first-person setting rather than, you know, how a lot of the RPG games were at the time where you've got a top-down view like in Diablo. But you're actually walking around in a first-person setting. You could pick up so much different stuff, so much different armor. You could encounter so many different creatures and beasts. It was just like an amazing setting and like a mind-blowing way to play a game which gave you that much option, variety, customization. And
to be able to get even more of that. Would you want the game to remain the same or to change?
I would want it to remain the same and have a full graphics update. So I actually know that some smart person made a like a custom DLC for Skyrim, because a lot of those games you can, you know, on a Windows 10 computer, you can create your own, the word's escaping me for some reason and it's hella embarrassing. But you can make your own like download pack which other people can then download and play themselves. And someone did it for Morrowind with Skyrim, but I would like to see it done at a professional level by a studio. And that would be mind-blowing. I would be super excited. I would get that.
I like how quickly you went from this is quite a difficult question to answer to being like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I know.
Here we go, I've got a lot to say.
I just had to like go into the, you know, the archives of my brain and be like,
through the folder.
What are some like games that had a real impact on me when I was a kid? And Morrowind is hands down one of those games. And the fact that I never owned it, so much of it would still actually be a new experience for me would be really cool as well.
So I'm very, well, as you guys know, I haven't had a console for most of my life as a child. I wasn't allowed one. I was very much robbed. But it's similar to you. I remember going around to my friend's house, my friend Nicole, and I just wanted to play Spyro. That was all that I wanted, to play Spyro. I remember one day my mum came to pick me up and I was just like, hey Nicole, can you get your mum to ask my mum if she'd like a cup of tea so we can finish this level of Spyro. Like, it was very much all I cared about. I thought it was very cool. So my wish of it being remastered has actually been granted.
Yeah.
Yesterday it came to Xbox One, that full Spyro trilogy, all
was
done.
Was it yesterday? Isn't it tomorrow?
It's
or
tomorrow,
is it...
but if we're looking at when the podcast will be
Oh,
uploaded.
of course, sorry. Gotcha.
I was going straight and you're like, what?
Yeah, that's going to be a highlight of this podcast.
Classic. We're filming on Monday, it releases on Tuesday.
And I'm being a dopey Doris.
So, thank you, Joe. Alright,
worries.
so that is definitely my wish, to be able to play Spyro as a grown-up. Super Lucky's Tale is very close, but that little purple dragon has won over so many hearts of us 90s kids. So definitely having those childhood memories and being allowed to do so. Very
I will actually be buying this game as well.
Yeah.
Because Spyro was also huge when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I think it was...
We were born the same year. So
we were born the same year.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We were kids at the same time.
And when I was a kid, and when my family and I still lived in Tauranga when I was growing up, my whole entire family, extended family, went in and brought me and my sister a PlayStation 1. Because, you know, that was before Xbox and everything else like that was even released. It wasn't a thing. So they brought me a PlayStation 1 and they brought me, you know, the original Spyro game.
That's super
And I think when I was a kid, that was the game I played by far the most. So
Yeah.
I will definitely be getting Spyro, the remastered, reignited trilogy.
Nice.
And jamming that hard. I'll tell you all about it.
So exciting.
Yeah.
Well,
You'll
we can
probably
share.
get it,
We can share in our playing Spyro. And I think it's really cool as well on that front. Another game that I kind of played, but not as much. Because once again, I didn't have a console. It was more a game I observed a lot. Was Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Because I love Disney.
Dying for Kingdom
so
Hearts
obviously
as well.
with Kingdom Hearts 3 now coming to Xbox as well, it'd be really cool to see those other games coming over to Xbox. And
great taste in games,
Oh,
Hannah. Great choices.
thanks.
I'm also very excited for that. I've been waiting. I've been one of those people who've been waiting for years for Kingdom Hearts 3.
all of eternity.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was like, I don't even know when it was announced, but I know it was...
It was announced at E3.
No, like...
No.
It was, well... It was announced that it was coming to Xbox and stuff,
Right.
but when they originally said they were developing it was...
Many moons ago.
Many moons ago. I think I was
Right.
still in high school.
Wow,
long
right, okay,
ago.
so it's been a long time coming.
A long
and
way.
then thank the Lord for Frozen.
Yeah.
Because
I don't
Frozen's
know so
really...
much if I'm looking for that.
Frozen's
I have to
really
be honest.
reinvigorated the Disney
Yeah,
universe for everyone ever.
I'm looking forward to the Tangled version.
Yeah.
Great shout out, and Hannah might put this in, but I might be promising too much. There's actually a cool comparison video of what the Tangled movie looks like and what the Tangled scene in Kingdom Hearts 3 looks like.
Okay.
I would go out on a limb and say the Tangled scene in Kingdom Hearts 3 looks better
Than the movie?
than the movie.
Wow.
Which is insane.
That's crazy.
So if you haven't seen that, give it a good bing.
Yeah.
And have a look at it because it's pretty mind-blowing.
Awesome.
But I think...
Okay, we've gone very far and astray with our chat.
Yeah, we've been mentioning a long-awaited game, right?
Yeah.
And there's another long-awaited game.
Absolutely.
Which, especially Hannah, every time this comes up, it's like, I've been waiting so long for this.
Absolutely, we've been talking
happening?
about it for a very long time. So over the weekend at XO18, Crackdown 3 finally got given a release date.
Finally, it's I think me and you have both had the experience of Crackdown 3 always being, it's coming next year, it's coming next year.
Yeah.
But we're pretty much getting towards the end of that journey now, and it has been announced that on February the 15th of next year
2019.
is the initial release date. I know that release dates do tend to change.
Let's just cross our fingers and hope that 15th of February will be the day. Let's talk a little bit about Crackdown 3. I'm sure a lot of you have already heard about it, but it's very much that open world. It's going to be an Azure-powered game, so it's fully destructive.
Yeah. It's a complete destructive game, which is really, really good. I don't know if anyone's played some of those classic destructive games, but I grew up playing a lot of them. I'm trying to remember the name. It was where you're on, of one in particular, it's where you're on Mars, and you're a guy running around, and literally this was a game that just started that destructive environment, bashing through doors and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. because in reality you can break things, right? If you're a superhero, you can destroy anything, and that's actually why I believe a large reason why Crackdown 3 has taken so long to come out is because there was very much a promise made about what it was going to be.
Absolutely.
So it needed to be polished, and it needed to come out fulfilling those promises. So it's very cool that they're using Azure to create that destructive environment. They've been announcing a whole lot of, they also announced a new PvP mode which will be in it, so player versus player, where in teams of 5 you can go around and pretty much race to see who can destroy the most crap. Which is
wonderful,
ridiculously fun.
Yeah, and I think that's very exciting. We might chuck in some game footage to show you what it's all about.
Listen up, agents. The world has become a dangerous place. That's why the agency has created the ultimate combat arena. Welcome to Wrecking Zone. 2 teams of 5 agents battle for supremacy. Smash through buildings. Blast bridges into rubble. Level the competition.
Play February 15th with Xbox Game Pass.
But there's so much more. I think one of the highlights for us, and it'll lead us into a lot of other conversations, is there are 16 new games coming to Game Pass.
Game Pass, our favourite thing to talk about.
Absolutely.
Easily our favourite thing to discuss. I think anytime I talk about Game Pass, just that value for money comes to mind instantly.
Yeah.
We've found it's just been such an easy sell, really. As soon as you talk to people about a game like Forza Horizon 4, then you tell them about Game Pass, they kind of go, why don't I get Game Pass? Sea of Thieves, State of Decay 2, all these things. Let's open up that chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're looking at me like, shh, I had a point.
No.
I'm going with this.
I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right. I actually think Game Pass is so major and so important.
Absolutely.
It is this, like, if you had to pick one reason to buy an Xbox over any other gaming device, it's hands down Game Pass.
I agree. And fun fact, you get a month free Game Pass in the box when you buy an Xbox. So if you're not sure about Game Pass, if you've heard of it, if you don't know what games are on it, we did a podcast a few weeks ago where we scrolled through all of the games available. But there are more games being added as it goes on, and you get a free month to try it out. So
absolutely,
it's free. Why not?
And there's even I know they're doing this in the US. I think they've done it in Australia in the past, and it might trickle down to us soon. In New Zealand, but you can actually in the US at the moment pay $1 and get a month of Game Pass as well.
Yeah, so just to check it out, see what it's all about. Yeah,
that's the way to do it. But there's an important game that Xbox has been partnered with for a long time that has been amongst those 16 announcements, and that is PUBG. Yeah, which is incredibly important because obviously PUBG, Fortnite, they're both very similar games. PUBG, you've always had to pay for it, and I'm going to go out on a limb again and say I prefer PUBG to Fortnite because I prefer the graphics and the realisticness of it. Like Fortnite, yeah, kind of cool, but I never really got into it. But PUBG, just because of that differentness in the style of the game and the way it looks is the one I prefer. So now that it's on Game Pass, that's super important.
I'm going to go out there and I instantly regret even having this thought, but I've never played PUBG or Fortnite. I've heard so much about these things. Yeah. So as soon as I was just like, oh no, but now it's on Game Pass, maybe we'll celebrate by doing a PUBG podcast.
Yeah, we've got so many games that we need to play actually.
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
PUBG, there's another one that I'm personally incredibly excited for, and that's Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Okay.
Is also coming, and that's a game that we talked about when E3
with the E3
announcements. So I believe it's already out. And it's actually quite a cheap game for the amazing style and just like the beautiful graphics in the game. And I can't believe that I forgot the release date for it because I really wanted to play it. For those of you who didn't watch the podcast, it's about going into ancient Britain when it was still kind of more of a Stone Age going into the Bronze Age kind of era.
Right.
And you play ancient British chieftain who's a woman, and that's really, really important because some of the most famous, sorry I'm going historical here,
off you go,
historical figures in Britain's past were people like Boudicca, who was a very famous woman chieftain who united Britain in their resistance to Rome when they came in.
Right.
So there's a lot of history of powerful women, female chieftains in Britain, and it's never been honoured in games before unless you go into like grand strategy and stuff like that. So I'm super excited to give that a play. It's very much got that mystic side to it as well. So looking into some
as you said, the graphics of that game, just a madness, and the fact that it's now coming to Game Pass or already on Game Pass is awesome. So being able to play that game within your subscription essentially for free, I guess, is very, very cool.
Absolutely. So PUBG, I think Hellblade is on there. We'll double check. PUBG came in on Monday, which I now know as of earlier was 2 days ago. From today, but 2 days ago from the podcast.
Ruined it, Fletcher.
We'll try to find out if there's a date for Hellblade for coming on. Those are the two big ones that I wanted to mention because they're the ones I'm most invested in.
Yeah.
But there's still more.
There's still more.
Because there's another Game Pass game that's already in there that's getting an update as well.
Yes.
And that's Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, I think we saw the most success of Game Pass when it comes to Sea of Thieves, I think. Within a couple of weeks there was over 4 million players. And what's really exciting about these sort of online-based games is the amount that you can update them and the additional support. And I know for things like Sea of Thieves, that's kind of been the most popular thing about it, is that the game is ever evolving.
It's cool.
There was already those two massive updates. I want to say it's Cursed Sails,
and I'm sorry, I've forgotten
the other one too.
Forsaken Shores.
Forsaken Shores, thank you. You looked at me like, don't worry, I've got you.
Yeah.
You did, thank you.
So Forsaken Shores was the other big one. And I played Destiny as soon as it came out, so that to me is one of the original, or if not the original, as far as I know, it was the original console game, which was online based, and you played with a huge amount of people, so MMORPG, and it had updates constantly to keep it fresh, keep it the content so that you want to play it. So Sea of Thieves, it's got a new one coming out called Shrouded Spoils. Sorry, at first I thought it was Shrouded Sails, but it's Shrouded Spoils.
Shrouded Spoils. And that's more difficult to say than you think.
Yes.
You got to say it like
Shrouded Spoils.
Excellent. Well done. All right, tell us a bit more about it, please.
There's not a lot of detail out on this yet, but the detail we do know is it's not at the moment, as far as we know, going to add new areas to the map, but it's going to change the way the existing areas work. So there's now going to be fog, which comes in rolling across the ocean. We've seen volcanoes come, we've seen things like fighting giant sharks in the water, mega dolons or something like that.
Important things.
All sorts of stuff with other things. So a lot of environmental things. Now it's that fog coming in, which is quite cool because that means you don't know who you're going to run into. It also means you have to use the crow's nest more. I can't believe I'm forgetting so much words.
You're not a pirate.
I'm forgetting all these words today.
Yeah.
It's probably great to watch. But there's a crow's nest.
Utilize the crow's nest symbol one.
Yeah, utilize the crow's nest. So you've got to go up there to actually be able to see further around. Use your telescope a lot more to see what's coming.
Yeah.
So
and I think that's important as well for a game like Sea of Thieves to really focus on that kind of teamwork aspect of it as well. So that's very, very cool.
Absolutely. So that is awesome, and they're going to keep releasing more information about that as time goes on. I think we can show a few clips of the fog rolling through, so we'll put that into the video. the other cool thing that's coming is a new PvP mode. So another update for an online game or player versus player.
You came here for something new. The spirit of competition runs through your veins. And who am I to disappoint? I introduce to the Sea of Thieves, the Arena! In your crew and earn the respect of your rivals. Together, compete for glory!
Join now and get your first month for $1.
I'm really excited about this one, Hannah.
Okay.
It's going to be a new PvP mode which allows you, obviously, to start up and instantly find people, so you don't have to randomly sail through the ocean, parlay, and then have a ship battle.
Right.
It's not down to like a random occurrence anymore. They're putting you into like a treasure hunting situation where a bunch of ships and crews get put down. There's a treasure. The winner is the person who finds the treasure first, but it also means you're all of a sudden in competition with a larger amount of players, a larger amount of ships, in a smaller section of the map. You're going to be like straight into some awesome ship battles.
All of the action.
It's going to be cool.
Awesome.
Like, I haven't played Sea of Thieves in a month or two, so I've got to get online, catch up, do those. I know our friend Steve Nolan in Australia is a pirate legend, so I might have to.
Also, he tells us he didn't quite manage to prove it. Steve.
He didn't. Yeah, I know. We'll have to check his facts. But the other cool thing is Pirate Legend. How you get there is you complete the game.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is Pirate Legends, as part of Shrouded Spoils and the update, they're also going to have a rejuvenation come to the game for them. So even though they've completed most of the game, they're going to get missions that only they can play.
That's
so
very
only
cool.
Pirate Legends can play to keep that journey going a bit longer, so you don't have to start a new character or anything like that.
That's really cool, and I think that that's always kind of the best thing. And as well, the coolest thing about open world games is that no matter how many times you play it, it can be a little bit different, but adding extra stuff on top, like the extra for expert section, if you will. I think that that's a really cool opportunity to keep people who obviously love that game engaged in that game and moving forward on the journey as well.
Absolutely. The other, there's probably two more things that I want to talk about. One is, since we're on the topic of Game Pass, a big driver behind Game Pass and the way that Xbox is evolving to, stay relevant and just be better is buying studios, gaming studios, so that we can come up with more first-party content. We can get more content coming full stop and more into that Game Pass library, which we're absolutely seeing, like you said, with Forza Horizon 4, with the Fallout games having gone in there. So much cool content. So the two companies that got brought, one was In Exile, which is an RPG dominated company. They've made games like Wasteland and Bard's Tale, which they're two older franchises which are still being updated, like Bard's Tale 4's coming out, Wasteland 3's coming out. I think they have another game in production which doesn't have a title to it, but they've announced it's being made, and of course that'll be continued with Microsoft. But those are some original RPGs, very much in the, Wasteland's very much in the style of Fallout, in the terms of Fallout 1 and 2, where it was a top-down viewer and you had a whole party of guys or a character you'd go around with and adventure and obviously do what an RPG has, set in like a post-apocalyptic world. Like between Mad Max and Fallout is the kind of environment I'd put it in. And Bard's Tale is a fantasy kind of version of that, where you're a bard going around in an RPG. So those are two really historic titles. They've worked on a whole bunch of other stuff.
Potentially a dance.
But you should know, it's a minstrel, a travelling minstrel who sings tales and
the more you know. Thank you for the fun
stories. No worries.
Fun facts with Flea.
But the other one that has been purchased is Obsidian. They're very well known. They go on old school, had Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, Sith Lords, which was an incredibly famous cult followed game. More recently, they've had great games like Fallout New Vegas. Which
I can hear the excitement in your voice. I wasn't looking at you at that point.
I'm super excited about that. They made that's awesome. They've also done Pathfinder, which was another great RPG, and this was a game that had a great reception. But they made South Park Stick of Truth, which like that was a huge game when that came out. So. They've got a game in development, and it has been officially stated that development's going to continue, and it's going to just keep going forward with Microsoft supporting it. I imagine it could be even bigger and better than it was originally intended, because some of these studios are still on the smaller scale, even though they've got such a historic presence. So getting that influx of money to like give a bit more life to their visions is super exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously for us, what that means is they'll be on Game Pass. Which is easily the most exciting thing, and I think a really key part of why these acquisitions have taken place. Is ideally to get that Xbox rolling and to get some games on Game Pass.
So it's nearly 200 games on Game Pass now.
Nearly 200 games. We've gone from the over 100 to nearly 200 benchmark.
I was looking this morning. There's so many games we're going to have to download and show off. Next week, I know we've got to talk about some other stuff besides Xbox, but we're definitely going to be recording some Xbox footage.
Great.
And the last game, I know I've been doing a lot of talking.
That's okay. This is probably the first time it's happened where I haven't interrupted you. Taking it on board. You can clearly tell who plays games the most. But Lucky Last, please.
Yeah, Lucky Last. This isn't going to be a huge title, but I wanted to talk about it. There's a game coming out called Void Bastards.
Okay.
I just realised the title, PG podcast. But Void Bastards, it's actually a really exciting looking game. So the reason I want to talk about it is because it's from the creators of BioShock. Because if it hadn't been remastered, it would have been my choice for Jay's question. But it's really, really cool. It's a first-person shooter style. But it is very much in like a comic book style of look. So to me, the game that I immediately thought the graphics was similar to was Borderlands, but more comic booky than Borderlands, which is Borderlands is a great game as well. So I'm really excited to see it. It's a game where you're in space, you're going on to different, starships and stuff like that, fighting some sort of monsters that are coming out. But there's a lot of stuff to interact with the environment. So if you see 3 monsters in a room, you can chuck a grenade in and shut the door.
Right, okay.
There's like little puzzles that you can go in and do. You can learn about what these monsters are. So it's kind of like, not like so plant-based, but a little bit like Dead Space crossed with Borderlands in an extreme comic book style. Even when you get killed, you see your guy like go into comic book frame and just face plant. That's really cool. Like a really cool. I think we should put the trailer in for that one too, just to give it a feel. I'm sorry, Hannah does the editing, so I'm asking a lot of
promises.
Yeah.
Surprise, buttface!
Do try not to die while action items remain unticked.
Gotcha!
Client expired.
I'm looking to you for a paradigm shift towards competence.
Come here so I can give you a hug.
No respect for synergizing.
Action items ticked.
I think the thing with things like that I'm most excited about as someone kind of new to the gaming universe is really looking at all of these different styles of games. Going from things like Hellblade that we talked about to, you know, I keep bringing out Forza because that's the game that I'm consistently playing at the moment. But yeah, all of these different kinds of things, all these different kinds of graphics, and you know, we're going deeper into more realistic looking graphics, but then coming out with some really cool cartoon games. And all of those,
that's what it's called. Just educating Hannah as we go. So.
How exciting! But yeah, so many different exciting things and different styles. So a little bit of something that suits everyone, and with more and more, I've got to say it, coming to Game Pass. Very much something for everyone.
The other cool thing about Game Pass when you are using the app, whether you're using it on your the Xbox app on your computer and looking at the Game Pass, whether you're using the mobile phone app where you can start downloads on your Xbox there as well, or the Xbox itself, it splits it into some great categories. So you know, just for ease of use, because we know navigating through an Xbox menu isn't like navigating through a PC menu. So it's a different experience, but you can see the latest games that are coming to Game Pass. You can see the hottest games. You can see indie games, RPG.
That's really cool. And I think as well, like if you do have a particular interest in something, like, you know, naturally we compare Game Pass to Netflix. If I was to see every show and movie Netflix has all in one, like view everything, that's not a great user experience.
And
so then it would be like,
you miss stuff really easily.
Absolutely. So a lot of really, really exciting things coming. A lot of promises made by Fletch this week. So we'll see how we go. But do you have anything to close out with, my friend? No, we've done it. We've kept everything on. I'm so glad you didn't promise anything more, Fletch. But please do let us know what you guys are looking forward to as well. Any other questions, any comments, please do let us know in the comments below. But we will see you guys next week.